King Arthur, the legendary king, the greatest Briton who's ever lived. King Arthur, the legendary king whose memory just doesn't go away. But after all, we mustn't forget our history lesson. It was after 1066 when the Normans invaded, and Britain has been under enemy occupation ever since. Now, of course, the enemies are suppressing our great and ancient British history, and that is why they're so keen on keeping the true story of our Britain's most legendary king under wraps and secret. The Norman ancestors, they're happy to believe the French romantic crap of putting a sword out of a stone to become king, of Merlin the wizard and the deceitful Guinevere and the equal deceitful offspring of Arthur. Nothing could be further from the truth. King Arthur didn't have to pull a sword from a stone to claim the British throne. King Arthur II, born 503 AD, was born into royalty. His father was a king, as was his grandfather, and all his ancestors before then, going right back to the Holy Family. Make no mistakes about it, Hollywood have done all they could to distort the memory of King Arthur. You just need to look at the films they've made throughout the ages, from The Sword and the Stone to Camelot, to the Monty Python, to the Excalibur, even to the latest productions of Guy Ritchie's King Arthur, and now the latest with the Transformers and the most recent film, The Kid Who Will Be King. Of course, the Normans and the Saxon invaders, they're intent on skewing the memory of Britain's greatest king all they can. They're scared of King Arthur because they know the greatest prophecy is still waiting to be fulfilled. King Arthur returning in our nation's darkest hour, and that darkest hour is now. And King Arthur has returned. He's returned in our hearts and in our spirits and in our minds. King Arthur II, the son of King Muric, who himself was son of King Theric. These were the kings of the ancient Welsh. King Arthur II was born in the year 503 AD in South Wales, and he died in Kentucky, USA in 579 AD. This is the amazing history that the descendants of the Normans are so keen to keep suppressed. That's why Hollywood is so keen to keep churning out the movies, reinforcing the lie that King Arthur became king from pulling a sword out of a stone, that Merlin was a wizard, that Guinevere betrayed him. It's all lies. Lies, lies and lies to suppress the real ancient British history that makes us the British great. It's the ancient Welsh, it's the Cymry, and it's the ancient Welsh records and chronicles that have all this out for the world to see. The historical historians Alan Wilson and Baron Blackett, they've done our world a great service, because only now do we know and understand the ancient British history for what it was and is. It's the greatest time in our British history, and only by looking back and remembering our greatest heroes can we now look forward and introduce new heroes to save our future, because our future needs saving. Great Britain is facing its darkest hour, and now King Arthur has returned in our hearts and in our minds, and most importantly, in our souls. King Arthur is not going away. He's in the very DNA of our Britishness. King Arthur founded the modern Britain in which we live today. He united a warring nation under one banner. King Arthur, oh hell, King Arthur. So, as we're celebrating the King Arthur Awareness Month, I urge you all to do your own research on this subject. It's quite funny, because having checked out Wikipedia on all the films and books written about King Arthur, Alan Wilson and Baron Blackett have not been mentioned once, even though they've published over half a dozen books on King Arthur. Doesn't that just prove the cover-up? The cover-up, the King Arthur conspiracy? So please, I hope you've enjoyed this little chat, and I hope that you like this video, that you'll share, and that you'll ultimately subscribe. Check out our Facebook groups, King Arthur the First, King Arthur the Second, and Google Alan Wilson and Baron Blackett, because these are the heroes who are brought up to date our ancient British history, and for that I salute them.